Good morning. Welcome to the April 16th, hopefully final discussion of our budget for fiscal year 24-25. We are aiming to have a balanced budget with zero tax rate increase. So with that, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have two unfinished items on our agenda from the last budget meeting, talking about the nonprofit funding request and then talking about COLA and/or merit pay raises to be put into the budget. With that, let's start with the nonprofit funding. Lisa?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And we could actually turn this over to Tara, who is zooming in with us today to talk about the nonprofit request. Tara, you want to take it?
Sure. So we have received 5 different requests from nonprofits. They all filled out an application and have submitted complete packets for their applications. Would you like to go through each one individually as far as the request goes?
Could you summarize what each one of them is doing
Sure.
and what they want,
So
please?
I actually don't have the application in front of me. Let me grab it. I have the amounts. So the Brunswick County Literacy Council is requesting $3,000. They have stated I apologize. So they have stated that they're seeking a grant to expand their Lifting Lives with Literacy program with the objective of helping low literacy and undereducated adults get the basic skills that they need to be productive workers, family members, and citizens. They are projected to attract 50 new referrals from schools, courts, community agencies, other nonprofits, businesses, and churches. The anticipated population within Brunswick County to be served is 150. When we do the contract, they get more specific about Sunset Beach as well as how many that they actually serve.
Have we given to them before?
Yes. So last year we gave them $3,000. Actually, the last 2 budgets we've given them $3,000, and then in 2021 we gave them.
Each one or address all of them. Is that okay with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, I don't need
Recording in
sufficient
progress.
resources to sustain
People do, yeah.
themselves. So we've
Hang
given
on,
them
Tara. We lost you
the
briefly.
past 2 years we gave them $2,500
Hey, Tara.
both years,
Tara,
and in 2020 we
Catch
gave
up.
them
Oh, it's a
2,000.
recording.
2019 we gave them 1,500. It's been between 1,000 and 2,500 for the last basically 10 to 12 years. And that's Brunswick Family Assistance. And then we also have Lower Cape Fear Life Care.
can she not hear us? Tara, can you hear us?
I couldn't hear anything.
Can you hear us now?
I can't hear you now.
Okay, we lost you when you said Brunswick County Literacy Council. We donated $3,000 last year. So if you would continue and go through the other 4, a quick statement what their mission is and what we've donated in the past, and then after we've gone through all of these, we will discuss them together.
Okay. So the Brunswick Lower Cape Fear Life Care has requested $2,500. Their mission is to serve everyone touched by a life-limiting illness in the community. Their Pathway to Care initiative ensures that no one is ever turned away due to their ability to pay. They provide access to services including hospice, palliative care, grief care, dementia care, and veteran care. Last year, they provided care to 97 residents of the town of Sunset Beach across these lines of service. They hope this year to provide care to 100 residents of Sunset Beach. They're saying that the support from the town will ensure that any resident in need will receive the highest quality of care and supportive services. So they have requested 2,500. Last year we gave them 1,000. In 2022 we gave them 1,000. In 2021 we gave them the 2,500. We've given them money all the way back to 2009, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,500.
Thank you.
And then Brunswick Family Assistance is requesting 2,500. They are a transformative, forward-looking, and collaborative organization that helps low-income individuals and families in Brunswick County to live a higher quality of life. They envision a community where people have access to adequate and nutritious supply of food and sufficient resources to sustain themselves. They are across Brunswick County, and last year they served over 53,000 individuals within the county. So they're saying approximately 40% of the county's population. And that does reach into Sunset Beach. And the Ingram Planetarium is requesting, oh, I don't think I said what we gave them in the past. Last year we gave, that's Brunswick Family Assistance.
I have 2,500.
Yeah. Yeah, that went all the way back to 2012. We've given them money anywhere from 1,000 to 2,500. The past 2 years, we've given them 2,500. So it's the
what did
Ingram
they ask you?
Planetarium.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
What are they asking for? 25.
They're asking for 2,500. So the planetarium is asking for 5,000. They would like to purchase and install a new exhibit called the Vertical Flyer in the Paul Dennis Science Hall at the England Planetarium. They're saying that this exhibit will inspire visitors' curiosity about the science of flight through hands-on exploration. Visitors will be able to select a paper cone and design and create their own propeller for the cone. The cone will then be placed in a wind tube where visitors can observe and experiment with flight patterns of the cone. So they're saying that this attracts more than 25,000 visitors to the Sunset Beach, and it includes area residents, school groups, and tourists. So, like I said, they're asking for 5,000. Last year we gave them 5,000. In 22-23 we gave them 2,500. 21-22 we gave them 3,500. We've given them, they are on record back to 2016 where we've given them funding, usually around 5,000. And then the Old Bridge. So the Old Bridge Historical Society is asking for 4,900. They were recently notified that the landowner that the lease will not be renewed and that the Old Bridge will need to be relocated. Fortunately, Old Bridge Historical Society owns the adjacent property and has begun the permit and design process to relocate the bridge to its permanent home. This bridge will need to be moved and placed on pilings to span a section of 404 wetlands on the property. So they're asking for $1,000 to purchase native plants that are appropriate for the wetland setting, $500 for labor to help pay for professional services, and $3,400 to pay for materials and professional installation of a gravel parking lot for visitors to the Old Bridge. Last year, we gave them $1,000. The year prior, we gave them around $1,700. And the total for all of the requests come to 17,900. And I can go through what the dollar amount is again if you need me to for each individual.
I think we all have a copy of the dollar
Oh,
amount.
you do have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should have it. Yeah. So, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Tara?
Tara, a question from me, please. By our application information, it shows that $5,000 or more, they must have a public disclosure requirement. And I noticed that Ingram Planetarium was right at the $5,000 mark. I know that they asked for more and got more last year, $7,500. So I'm sure they're used to that type of audit. But, for a penny less, they wouldn't have to do that. But is that really their business and not ours?
The size of the planetarium, typically they do an annual audited financial statements, and that suffices
Okay,
for that.
all right.
So I think that they do that anyway. And so it's not a burden to, I don't believe that it's a burden to
Okay,
them.
I just wanted to give them a heads up if it was, but thank you for that clarification.
Any other questions? Any discussion?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept for the 5 different nonprofits that we were looking at their applications for the total amount, $17,900, be incorporated into our 2024-25 budget.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second? Any other discussion?
Well, here I'm again saying, questioning the amount of the planetarium. I'm going back a lot of years when they came and asked for money. Ron Watts was sitting on the council, and Ron made sure that our amounts were going to decrease for an amount of 5 years, and then they were going to be self-supporting. They may have 2,500 visitors a year.
25,000.
25,000. Yep. That's fine, but they're not spending any money in Sunset Beach. Most of them are school kids. They come in on a bus, they go to the planetarium, they leave, get on the bus and leave. And I think they should be more self-supporting. That's it.
Any other comments? All right. All in favor of the motion, which is to approve 17,900?
Aye.
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 Thank you for those comments, Charlie.
Yeah,
You're,
unanimous.
You made a good point.
Okay. The second item of business is a discussion of COLA/merit. Turn that back over to you, Lisa, or is that a Tara?
That's Tara as well.
Tara?
So there was some discussion between 3% and 4% by town council, and we had adjusted some things. The packet that you have in front of you with the new amounts, where it's actually a balanced budget, has the 4% COLA in that. The CPI is sitting around 3.8, 3.9%. And I had given you all what neighboring towns around us are doing. And I think if you did the 4%, you'd be very much in line or very close. I mean, those are all just proposed. And some of them are a lot higher. Some of them are around the same. But I think that the 4% would probably be a happy medium.
So these figures that you gave us, these are just preliminary figures from the other municipalities, is that correct? Has anybody
Correct.
else passed their budget yet?
No.
Okay. And so
That's better.
you didn't say anything about a merit increase. So-
I didn't know of any talk. I wasn't sure any direction from council to do a merit or not do a merit.
Okay, so we have nothing in this budget for
There's
merit.
there's no merit budgeted in there. There's a 4% COLA.
John, can I ask a question that
Sure.
pertains directly to that?
Yeah. go ahead.
Tara, I'm looking at what Lisa handed out to us today. I had not seen it before today, and I call it the summary sheet. It's the one with the boxes that's got each department in it, and it really is showing, as I read it, I refer to it as the changes or the additions. It's got special items in it like UTVs and
That-
people and
That I did not update the COLA on those sheets. I just did the overall totals last night.
all right. So because this
But
sheet
that's
here,
not-
even though it says second draft at the top, to me the numbers are the same.
Yeah,
And-
that second draft was from what you had received for
okay,
that sheet only. I didn't
okay,
make any changes on that specific sheet.
yeah,
The summary page that has like the line items and things like that. The numbers,
For
the
each
overall
department?
numbers are what changed. I did not change the box page.
Okay.
That's where the asks come from. Like the capital and things like that broken down by department, but I did not update that page.
okay. Because I looked at that as showing what the increases were per department for the new plan, if you
For the-
will. And like, for
for the
example,
new-
I noticed 3 additional firefighters is still at that same amount of money where we had agreed to stagger the firefighters coming in. So that,
I did stagger it in the numbers,
but
I did not.
I should
I
ignore
didn't
this
do
sheet
this
then.
page. Yes.
Okay.
That's usually just at the very beginning, that sheet. I should have just taken it out.
It just said
Yeah.
second draft on it, so I thought it was new.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
okay,
That
I'm satisfied.
Other discussion, Charlie?
Tough question. We all know what the cost of living is doing. I have to go back to you hire employees, they do a good job, you train them. I mean, I think there's only one town employee that lives in the town. Pretty much simply that the others can't afford it. I have to go with the COLA.
Speak up, please.
I'm sorry. I have to go with the 4%.
4% COLA. Mike? First, Mike Boswell.
I have one problem with a 4% across the board COLA. It's not the 4%, it's the idea that COLA. And it takes me back, and you'll have to give me some time, to the days when I was president of a Little League program in New Jersey, and the board passed participating trophies for all the players that played in the league, which meant the best teams got the same trophy as everybody else. But why play harder if you're going to end up with the same trophy? I think that COLA across the board sends the same message to the employees. You do a great job, you're doing better than anybody else in your department, and you're going to get the same money. Does that not deplete their desire to improve, to get better, and to earn more money that way? I think we should try to find some way to recognize the best performers in a department. No incentive to perform better is basically everybody just coasts along and says, okay, I'll get the same percent the next guy gets when it comes around. The only thing they have to work for is, if they're not going to get money for performing better, is pride. And pride you can't cash in at the Food Lion. Okay? So I think we should figure out a way to cut something else and get some money into the COLA. And I'm willing to say that I'll give up the $2,205 a year I get out of this doing this. And I'm sure everybody else would hear if that would at all help. I don't need the money, but I think the employees do. That's it.
That's very generous of you. All of our 2,200s, $11,000,
17,900.
17,000. Oh yeah, I left the.
You
I
forgot
left
everybody and the mayor.
Yeah, well, he's not here. So.
Well, I told him what
Yeah.
yesterday, and
Yeah.
he said he would give it up in a heartbeat.
Okay, so that leaves us 20,000 plus short of 1% of anything, whether it's COLA or merit. So the question would be, if you're going to continue that conversation, is what do we cut out of the budget because it takes 39,000 and change for 1% of anything?
Well, I have a question, John, if you don't mind.
Sure.
At the last budget, when we got it from Tara, she indicated we were $56,000 to the good. And did that disappear? Or
Well, we were at a
57,300?
3% COLA then, and that's been bumped up to 4.
Okay. All right.
May I? I don't, I'm not trying to be argumentative, but I think what you're suggesting will come under merit pay. Not a COLA, and people come to work and they do a job and prices are up. Go to the grocery store, buy gas, anything. If it would make you happy, I'd cut my suggestion back to 3%, but
That would give us a 3% COLA and then a 1% pool of money.
Well, if we throw in our salaries, that increases a little bit, 3.5%, 1.5%. And not everybody gets the 1.5%.
And that's
Only the better performers get higher than 1.5%.
I just like to
Mr.
just
Hargraves.
say, thank you. I just like to say that the idea of the COLA here is simply a cost of living raise. And that's the key here. It's not anything to do, in my mind, with merit. It's to do with helping our employees afford what they spend at the grocery store, at any other store, as moving forward. Right now, CPI is at 3.9. At least we're getting above that a little bit. And hopefully it helps a lot more to meet the needs of our employees. It gives up the merit idea, but I think more importantly in our economy today is to help our employees afford what they need to spend every day at Food Lion and so on. So I would go with the 4%, and that helps with the cost of living, obviously.
Mr. Larkin, you have any comments?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I support the 4% COLA. I do not support watering that down to 1% or whatever it would be merit. I think the amount is superfluous to a reward. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that.
The only other question that would come in here is if we wanted to keep the 4% and increase the merit, we would have to go back and re-wicker the other budget decisions that we made. Does anybody have a recommendation on what previous decisions we made that we want to change in order to create a merit fund?
I do not have any Mayor Pro Tem, and I think to provide a smaller merit, particularly at this stage, is not where we want to go. Then we have to talk about
I have a recommendation.
we have to talk about enforcement. We have to talk about. I'm not comfortable with it at this particular time.
I do have a recommendation. Taking a quick look at the budget. Last year we budgeted, let me look at this real quick, we budgeted and spent 192,000, something like that, in lawyer fees. Now we had the big Riptide issue, which spent a lot of meetings, and only Peter knows how many, because he was at them all.
Well, so was other people.
I know, but the problem is that I don't think we should keep it at 192. I think we could draw the money out of there, drop it down, and be careful of what we send to our lawyer to review, rather than send every simple question that comes up to the lawyer. That or bundle them into a group to send for one response. So if we pull out 25 or 30 out of that, it's still 162, and it's greater than what we paid in prior years.
Lisa, did we ever get a report back from Brady? We know he's been in a court case, sort of to indicate. The question is, are we sending a lot of frivolous things to the lawyer, or are many of our cases, the things that we send to the lawyer, driven by events that come up?
We do not send anything frivolous to Attorney Richardson, and he is working on the list of what he can provide for public consumption.
Okay. I don't know off the top of my head, what do we have in there now for legal fees?
So I was looking, I had it.
192,000,
Yep. And the year before was,
192,000.
and that was last year, or 23, 20.
And the year before that was 179,000.
Okay. You seem to send a lot of stuff. But we've had some big issues. Right now, the only one left is Logan. And that's maybe one more meeting, maybe two max.
I think you're being optimistic, but okay.
I think you are too.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
Our past history with legal fees is they keep increasing, and there's a whole lot of reasons, not just the developers, that are causing those increases. So I'm not particularly comfortable in chopping those funds.
Society right today is not only litigious, but very demanding as to what they request, what they require, what they look at from freedom of information, what they look at from suing the town, what they look at is for suing the town for employee actions. I would not be comfortable. I mean, I'm sure there's other places we can take some money if you feel strongly about having a merit. But at the same time, you have a merit, there's going to need to be rules of engagement for how the merit is in fact distributed. And right now we're working on, I haven't started yet, but I will be as soon as I finish with some other things I'm working on for the town, the personnel policy manual. And we have to hire a human resources manager. I think without a human resources manager, it makes the process of employee questions, of employee, I don't want to say discipline, but at least employee inquiries. It makes it, right now we're not set up for it. We should have had a human resources person here 8 years ago, and we haven't, and we didn't. I'm just looking at it as with the way the economy is right now, I'm satisfied with the 4% COLA increase to our employees. There's a number of openings that people can apply for in all of our departments. I won't talk about administration here, but there's a way of moving up. There's a way of promotions. That's how I think people, to a degree, are rewarded.
What I did was, Mike and I had talked, so I had a heads up on this. What I did was took some time and went through the proposed budget and tried to figure out comfortably where I felt that we could take money from one category or another category. And I can honestly say that I wasn't really comfortable with any area of the budget left over that we could steal more money from or take more money from and bring it into a merit. We cut, what was it, $768,000 from this budget originally. That was a big deal. And that, what I saw was we took some things right down to the bare minimum. And so I respect what we did, and what we did was great. And we're down to still 16 cents per $100 of assessed valuation. I'm very proud that we agreed to do that. But I didn't see any other area in this budget sticking out, to me, that would certainly say, let's take that money from there. As far as attorney fees are concerned, we're talking to a what I would call a brilliant gentleman not too long ago. who talked about the new thing in North Carolina and county and city governments throughout North Carolina. They call it management by attorneys. Everybody has to turn to attorneys all the time to ask many questions, relevant questions, important questions, and need the support of their attorneys in almost every step of the way of government these days. I wouldn't be comfortable taking money away from that at this point. Certainly look at it for next year and see if we cut our use a little bit, and maybe we can cut it from there. But I feel confident that what we're doing is good for our employees. I would leave it at 4% and no merit.
As a note too, Mike Hargraves, the attorney fees, we're looking at probably $225,000 this year, and we're knocking that back by $30,000. But I think Mike Postle has a point. We'd all like to give more money to our employees, and particularly to be able to reward the better employees. But I think we need to have rules of engagement as to how that works. We need to have a personnel policy manual that works within that. We're still struggling with how to interview people, and also have a human resources person here that can properly establish job descriptions, work with the various department heads to be a resource for them. Because right now our department heads are really on their own when it comes to evaluating employees. I would not want to be put in that position. We're all human beings. If somebody shows up to work every day and does exactly what they're told, they're going to think they deserve the maximum merit. And even though they may not be the best citizens, they may not come up with new ideas, they may not be helpful to the rest of the team or to the manager, department head, we're all human beings. We all think we're pretty good. As far as giving up the money that we get here, I can guarantee you that I spend more on sneakers walking around this town than I get paid for being here. And the money that we all give up on other jobs, and I give up on other jobs within the town here, make that look like pocket change. So I think that's more show than it is go.
Any other comments?
Yeah, just one quick, I said, and I want to expand on it just a second. I think it's important, and Michael knows this, I think it's important that we, pay particular attention this year coming up with our legal fees. Definitely. Where can we cut a little bit? Where can we not as far as using our attorney? I think we've got to do that. We've got to make sure when we need him, and when we don't, we don't. And we can't really look at the budget all the time because you need an attorney many times where the people don't even know what's going on in the background, some of these personnel issues and so on. So let's keep an eye on it and let's review it this year. But I don't think we should change it for the coming year.
Any other comments, questions?
I'm finished.
Okay.
I'd said my piece.
My view is that the best balance that we can come up with across the board is to go ahead and do a 4% COLA. So, I have a motion from somebody?
I would like you to restate that.
Pardon?
Would you please restate that?
My view is that looking at the various options is, I think, doing the 4% COLA is the best balance
And no merit
and no merit.
is the best balance. I'd like you to say that.
I just said that.
Okay.
How many times do you want to hear it?
No, that's
You
it.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a motion?
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No,
I'm an aye, 4-1.
All right, now do we have
Is there-
to accept the whole budget?
So
Which-
basically can you hear me?
Yes, clear.
Okay. And so this is balanced with everything that you all had talked about. What the next step will be is that I will put this all together more formally and submit the budget message that I typically write every year. And you will have that in advance of the May meeting for review. And then at the May meeting, we'll set the public hearing for June, and this will be laid out to the public after the May meeting
Tara,
with the message and the budget as it
Tara?
stands.
a question.
Yes.
As you're going through this, if you happen to see something that reduces the amount that you originally have here, would you please send up a red flag so we can revisit this issue?
Yes.
Thank you.
Pete, you have
I think I heard you say, Tara, that this will become public information, this spreadsheet, after the public hearing, or will it be in the agenda for that town council meeting prior to us going to having the public hearing?
It'll be in the agenda. It's public now. Anybody can request it. It's a public document. So we have, for the budgeting, general statute requirements, it has to be on display at town hall, on the website, for a period of time prior to the public hearing. I was just restating that.
Okay, thank you.
But it's public record.
So the idea is at the May meeting, we announced that the June meeting will be a public hearing. At the May meeting, then it will all go online everywhere. And then the June meeting, we'll have the public hearing, and then we'll vote to accept or reject the budget.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any other business? No other business? We have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Closed.
Thanks, Tara.
Thank you.